My 5 longevity secrets at 90, foods for vibrant health after 50, no pills. Meaningful living, your guide to a vibrant life after 50. Hello, dear friends and subscribers of Meaningful Living. My name is Margarita, and I'm 90 years old. I know it sounds pretty incredible, but I don't have diabetes, I don't suffer from high blood pressure, and I don't take a handful of pills every morning and evening. I get up by myself, make my own breakfast, walk every day, read without glasses, and remember everything I want to remember. Some people say, "You're so lucky." Others, "Must be good genetics." But I always say one thing, I just knew what I was putting on my plate. I didn't treat illnesses, I didn't give them a chance to appear. Look around at how my peers live. Some can't walk a few steps without getting breathless. Someone else's purse is a mobile pharmacy. Another person opens a packet of pills every morning instead of a window. And we get so used to it. We get used to pain, fatigue, poor sleep. We think, oh well, it's just age. But maybe it's not age. Maybe it's the consequences of what we've been eating for years. The most important thing, though, is that you can change everything, even if you're already over 60, over 70, or even over 80. Not through radical diets or starvation, but through simple, living, wholesome food, the kind that nourishes, heals, and protects. Today, I'm going to tell you about 5 simple foods that kickstarted my second youth and that I'm confident helped me live to 90, not just survive, but truly live. A quick but important note. All the information I'm sharing in this video is based on my personal experience, traditional knowledge, and observations. I'm not a doctor, and my advice doesn't replace professional medical consultation. Always consult with your doctor or a qualified dietitian before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you have chronic conditions or are taking medication. But before we dive into the world of these amazing foods, if you care about your health or the health of your loved ones, please support our community for seniors, subscribe to the Meaningful Living channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Your support is our fuel. And so I can understand if this material is helpful to you, write in the comments below this video. If it seems empty to you, write the word 0. If it resonates with your heart and seems valuable, write 1. This will let us know we're on the right track and continue to create what truly matters to you. Your feedback is the fuel that helps us keep going. Now let's get to the heart of it. Episode 1. The berry that balances, Chokeberry, Aronia. Let's start with something that's been part of my daily routine for many years. A food that has given me a clear head and a light heart. Food number 1, Chokeberry, Aronia. Small, tart, but it does more than a whole shelf of pills. I started eating it about 30 years ago. Not because it was trendy, but because a neighbor suggested it. She was a retired nurse, by the way. She said, if you want your blood vessels to be like a young person's, brew Chokeberry. You don't need much, but do it every day. At first I was skeptical, oh, it's just a berry. But I tried it. I brewed a handful of dried berries in a thermos, let it steep for a couple of hours, and started drinking half a glass a day. Not every single day, but regularly. And that's when I started noticing something strange. My head stopped feeling heavy, my hands became warm even in winter. And most surprisingly, my blood pressure evened out. Before, it would sometimes spike so high I'd have to lie down, but now it's steady and quiet, like clockwork. Chokeberry is a special berry. It contains so much benefit that you can't buy in a pharmacy. It has anthocyanins. These are natural pigments, dark, almost black, that protect blood vessels and improve blood flow to the eyes and brain. They make our capillaries elastic, and this prevents many age-related problems, especially those concerning memory and vision. In short, they make us feel more alive and energetic. A real-life story. My friend Evelyn and I almost retired at the same time. She was 74 back then. She always complained, my head spins, especially in the morning. She'd say it felt like she was floating in the room, and her hands were always cold. The doctor said, vascular weakness, age-related. He prescribed pills, but she didn't tolerate them well. So I told her, try the Chokeberry. I brought her a jar of dried berries and told her how to brew them. A couple of months later, I met her in the park, and she was waving at me from across the path as if nothing had ever been wrong. She said, Margarita, I can walk by myself again without fear, and my fingers are warm like they used to be. I don't even always need a hat in winter. So much for just a berry. Not exotic, not imported, but our own native Chokeberry. How to prepare it? Brew in a thermos for 2 to 3 hours, then drink it like a compote. You can add dried or fresh berries to oatmeal or apple compote, but without sugar. Remember, sugar negates a significant part of the benefits. The key is to consume it regularly in small amounts without fanaticism. If you also experience blood pressure fluctuations, cold fingers, or a heavy head, just give it a try. Chokeberry works gently as if restoring order to your body. Your feedback. If you're already familiar with this berry, type strength in the comments. If not, type we'll try it. This helps us understand that what we're sharing here is reaching you. Episode 2, The Calming Herb, Willowherb Ivan Chai. Food number 2, Willowherb Ivan Chai. The herb that restores peace. When I was young, Ivan Chai was drunk in many homes and families, especially in our village. Grandmas kept it on their shelves in large jars. They brewed it like regular tea, but the taste was milder, and afterward there was no bitterness or anxiety. Later it was forgotten. Stores filled up with boxes of flavored teas, and Ivan Chai went out of style. But about 20 years ago, I rediscovered it, and I haven't parted with it since. Why? Because it does exactly what is so needed as we age. It calms the nervous system, relieves internal tension, improves sleep, and aids digestion. Without pills, without addiction. In the evening, I brew a pinch of Ivan Chai. I steep it for 10 to 15 minutes. I drink it warm, without sugar, sometimes with a drop of chokeberry infusion. After it, my body relaxes, my thoughts quiet down, and I fall asleep peacefully without restless dreams or waking up. A real-life story. I had an acquaintance, Patricia. We often crossed paths at the library. She complained that by evening her heart would race, as she put it. Her pulse would quicken, she'd feel anxious, and that kept her from sleeping. Pills didn't help her, they only drained her energy. One day, I poured her some Ivan Chai in a thermos and said, "Try it instead of black tea, just for one evening." A few days passed. She came up to me and said, "You know, for the first time in a long time, I fell asleep without thinking that I wouldn't sleep again. I just lay down, and it was as if someone closed my eyes." Ivan Chai is rich in substances that help the brain, heart, and stomach work without overload. It reduces inflammation, helps gently cleanse the liver, and improves fluid drainage from tissues, meaning less swelling and less heaviness in the body. It's especially good in mature age when everything in the body becomes a little more sensitive. It's a real lifesaver from the daily stress that accumulates in our bodies. How to prepare it? Brew 1 teaspoon of dried herb in 10 ounces, 300 milliliters, of hot water. Steep, covered, for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink warm, not on an empty stomach. You can drink it during the day, but it works especially well in the evening instead of sweet tea or coffee. If you love quiet, if you want to sleep peacefully and wake up with a clear head, try it. Your feedback. If you already have Ivan Chai in your kitchen, type calm in the comments. If you're just planning to try it, type drinking tonight. Let this be the first step towards inner balance. Episode 3, The Humble Powerhouse, Buckwheat Porridge. Food number 3, Buckwheat Porridge. Simple, inexpensive, and as it turns out, incredibly beneficial for the long run. If you ask me what I've eaten most often in my life, I wouldn't hesitate to say buckwheat. Not because it was a diet, not because it was trendy, but because I grew up on it. And the older I got, the more I understood how powerful this food is. When I turned 60, I started having problems with my blood sugar. Sometimes I'd feel sluggish after eating, sometimes weak, or suddenly my heart would race. The doctor said, "Monitor your levels." I cut out white bread and pastries, and instead I had simple buckwheat. In the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, cooked with water, no salt, no oil. Nothing extra. And what do you think? After a couple of weeks, I stopped feeling sleepy after meals. After a couple of months, I noticed my blood sugar became more stable, my blood pressure lowered, and most importantly, I felt full without feeling heavy. That's why I love buckwheat. It doesn't weigh you down. It supports you, giving you energy without sharp spikes. It's rich in slow carbohydrates, giving you energy not just for an hour, but for the whole day. It contains magnesium, iron, and fiber. And all of this without a single supplement from the pharmacy. It's a true natural complex of vitamins and minerals. And if you cook it until it's soft, without frying, it's suitable even for those with stomach or pancreatic issues. This isn't just porridge, it's a real foundation for longevity. A real-life story. I have a niece, Sarah. All her life she ate on the go, snacking whenever. I told her, just soak it overnight and in the morning bring it to a boil. She scoffed at first, but a month later she said, "Aunt Margarita, for the first time I've started eating properly. My head is clearer and I have more energy in the evenings." Thank you. So there you have it. Not fancy breakfasts, but buckwheat. Simple, reliable, unpretentious. And with each passing year, I'm even more confident in it. How to prepare it? 1:2 ratio. 1 cup of buckwheat, 2 cups of water. Cook on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes. No oil, no salt, nothing extra. You can add a little chokeberry infusion or a spoonful of warm flaxseed oil after cooking. If you're still wondering where to start making changes, begin with this. Buckwheat is like a foundation. It doesn't require effort but provides a strong base for your health. Your feedback. If you also eat buckwheat, type foundation in the comments. If you don't yet, type adding to plate. Let's see how many of us choose the simple but true path to health. Episode 4. The Ocean's Gift, Seaweed, Kelp. Food number 4, Seaweed, Kelp. It has just as much iodine as a pharmacy supplement, but that's just the beginning of its benefits. I first tried it when I was about 40. Back then, no one talked much about the thyroid, but my hands started getting cold, my voice became quieter, and I felt like I had less energy than before. The doctor looked at my tests and said, "Iodine is on the lower end, think about seafood." I'm not a big fish person, but seaweed suited me right away. It's not heavy, the taste is slightly salty, but if prepared correctly, it's not overpowering. I add it little by little to salads, to oatmeal, sometimes just by itself as a side dish. And after a couple of weeks, I felt it. My hands were warmer, my strength returned, and a clarity seemed to appear in my head. That's what it means when everything in your body starts working as it should. Seaweed isn't just about iodine, which is critically important for proper thyroid function. It contains B vitamins, iron, magnesium, and dietary fiber. It helps the thyroid, cleanses blood vessels, and regulates metabolism. And what's also important, it gently lowers cholesterol levels and helps the liver cope with excess load. Its fiber works like a brush for your intestines, removing toxins and improving digestion. A real-life story. I have a neighbor, Joan. All her life she complained about sluggishness and a fog in her head. She started eating seaweed every other day, sometimes in a salad, sometimes just a spoonful as a side dish. A month later, she said, "Margarita, it's like someone turned on a light inside. My memory is better and even my neck stopped feeling cold." That's how nutrition works when you don't overcomplicate it. But it's important. Don't buy the jarred kind with vinegar and sugar. That only causes harm. Better to use dried kelp. Soak it in water for a couple of hours, rinse and add a tiny bit of oil, or use good quality frozen seaweed without additives. How to use it? In a salad with carrots, buckwheat, cooked beets. Separately as a side dish, 1 or 2 tablespoons, or even add it to vegetable soup at the very end of cooking. It perfectly complements the taste and adds benefits. If you used to avoid seaweed, don't rush to dismiss it. Give it a chance. Episode 5. The Gut Healer, Sauerkraut. Food number 5, sauerkraut. It has nothing extra, but it has everything you need. I've known this cabbage since childhood. In our house, we always made it ourselves in a big jar. No vinegar, no sugar, just cabbage, carrots, and a little salt. Back then, we just ate it with potatoes and fish. But later, as I got older, I understood. This isn't just a side dish. It's real support for the whole body. Sauerkraut is a living food. It contains lactic acid bacteria that help the gut work properly. This means vitamins are absorbed better, the liver isn't overloaded, immunity is stronger, and most importantly, there's less inflammation in the body. It's a natural probiotic that works gently and effectively. I especially felt its power when I was 70. That's when I started having digestive problems. Bloating, heaviness after eating, drowsiness. I had an appetite, but no enjoyment from food. I started eating a little cabbage, about 1 tablespoon before meals, sometimes just as a snack. After a couple of weeks, I felt lighter, and after a month, it was as if everything inside started working more quietly and harmoniously. My appetite returned, and my mood became more even. Sauerkraut is also rich in vitamin C, which we often lack as we age. Plus, it has fiber, potassium, and B vitamins, especially B6, which helps brain function and reduces anxiety. It helps maintain a healthy microflora, which is the basis not only for digestion but also for overall well-being. A real-life story. My neighbor Barbara, 78 years old. After a course of antibiotics, she started having intestinal problems. The doctor prescribed probiotics, but she forgot to buy them. And I told her, start with cabbage, but not from the supermarket, a proper homemade kind. I'll give you a jar. A week later, she came over and said, "Margarita, for the first time in a month, my stomach is calm. And it's like I myself feel lighter, in my body, in my head, in my mood." How to eat it. 1 or 2 tablespoons before a meal or a little in a salad, but without mayonnaise. Absolutely no vinegar, no sugar, no preservatives. Just cabbage, carrots, and salt. That's the whole recipe. If you want your digestion to work well, your mood to stay steady, and to avoid internal irritation, add this cabbage to your diet. Simple, live, accessible. That's all, my dears. These 5 simple foods, chokeberry, chai, buckwheat, seaweed, and sauerkraut, have become my faithful companions on the path to longevity. I've shared a piece of my experience with you, hoping it will inspire you to make changes. Remember, your health is your most valuable asset, and it's never too late to take care of it. Be healthy, energetic, and live life to the fullest. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. See you on the Meaningful Living channel.